Hello, good morning, everyone. How are you? Today is a new Thursday and a new live in Spontaneous Stories. I'm so happy to be here with you today, even if outside there is a beautiful sun. But I hope that you are enjoying this new episode of Live Stories. Maybe having a lunch outside and enjoying this few days of sun here in London, definitely UK, but I guess in London. What we are going to talk about today, I asked some feedback, I asked some suggestion in the past week. Maybe I have to give you more time to drop your thinking because my comments were empty. So I have to choose the topic for today. I have no problem to choose a topic, but I would like to recommend you. Drop a comment. Let me know what you want to hear from me. And this is a great opportunity. I will dig into that. This is a great opportunity to go into the whole 360 skills that I connect with the storytelling. So Riccardo here, your storytelling coach, going through spontaneous stories. And the stories that we are going to talk today, the topic is, I decided to go for a general topic, a topic that always is good, like the black when you go in a party, always good, and is speech evaluation. Speech evaluation or evaluation in general and self-evaluation. Because the self-evaluation is it's definitely the most important things of speech evaluation. But let's go by step. Let's have a look step by step what I mean as speech evaluation, evaluation in general, and then land with the evaluation. And what are basically the benefit of self-evaluation? Because of course you can be evaluated by your cat, and I'm normally evaluated also by my cat, but you cannot cat. Actually, I have cats, I have two. But it's normally it's not a way that you can grow, because the cat just look at you and say, okay, you're good, but food please. Anyhow, evaluation. When it comes to evaluation, our brain always evaluate everything. Our brain always ponder situation, ponder what is around, and make his judgment. Evaluation is not judgment. Evaluation is listening, first of all, watching, of course, if we are seeing something, and having a structure, having an approach to let's say, no, first before to analyze, to connect, collect the information, and then process this information, analyze, and then synthesize. It's a very basic process. Collect, organize, analyze, and synthesize. But I don't want to start so far away. The point is, evaluation is all about watching and listening. Listening carefully. No judging. It's just listening. That's the first step. You listen carefully what's going on, and you don't do any judgment of what was said or how the speaker is moving. You just pay attention on how the speaker is moving, of course, pay attention on what the speaker is saying, how he's saying, the structure, and pay attention on also how you feel, okay? But if you feel that you don't like, or if you feel that you like what's going on and what the speaker is saying, don't judge. Just say, I like it, or you know what, I don't like it, or this could be done better. That's important things. The collection of the information. But I use a word before I say structure. Structure is the key element of every evaluation. you need always to have an approach and always to use as much as possible this approach. I mean, the approach can change, but generally, especially if you are new to evaluate a speaker, to evaluate then yourself, it's always good to start with an approach, a structure to the evaluation that you use and you apply all the time. The structure will free your brain and your processing power of your brain, that is very powerful. Our brain is very powerful, but it still have we still are like sequential. So we'll free our brain from conscious analyzing what's going on and make sure that our brain concentrate on what I say. That was the most important things. Listening carefully, listening and watching carefully. So I will start with a basic approach for evaluation that in general, and a speech evaluation of course, but you can apply in a more broader way that works, let's say 99% of the time. Okay? And to do this, I have my tablet here. So let's switch to the other camera. It is working. Nice. I love that. When technology is working, it's so satisfying. So I have my little pen, electronic pen, and I go to. We go. So this structure, I was talking about the structure, and okay, someone is online. Can you guess which structure you should use when you are going to evaluate a speech or a speaker? And when I say evaluate the speaker, you don't evaluate the person. You evaluate how the speaker is delivering the speech. 1, 2, 3. I'm waiting for the comment. But yes, the structure is the 3-pillar structure. As I said before, there are several ways that you can do it. But I love very much using reusing the 3-pillar structure. So first of all, we will look to the content, okay? Content, what the speaker is saying. Then we will look to the structure, okay? Structure. And finally, or well, let's say, finally in this sequence of elements that we want to look when we listen a speech, we will look to the delivery. Now, the evaluation, the 3 elements of the evaluation are not, of course, happening one after the other. And that's the difficulty of evaluating a speech, evaluating at a talk, evaluating a video. We can evaluate everything, but we needed to learn the 3 elements. We need, and then when we look to the video, when we look someone speaking on a video, we look someone speaking on a convention, on an expo, we will collect information all together, and then we sort the information. Remember the structure that I told you before: collecting information, sorting, analyzing, and synthesizing. I'm going to write here down. I know that it's a little bit more too much engineeristic, but that's the point. The first time that you do this, you need to pay attention to what you're doing. And then the second, the third, the 10th time, and that you are practicing this, evaluating, your brain will start doing in automatic way. It's like driving a car. At the beginning, when you are a new driver, you pay attention to switch the gear, if you are using a car with a gear. Yeah, well, You switch the gear, you press the gear changer, the accelerator, the brake, and then you have to put the arrow when you're going to turn in one direction, and you need to pay attention to all this detail. After hour of practice driving, you start automating all of this, and you don't pay attention anymore of all of this. But then you drive, you pay attention to the road, you pay attention to anything else. Of course, you always pay attention when you're driving. But the important thing is that the message is you needed to practice evaluation, and you needed to have a structured approach. Okay, so the first step is collecting information of what's going on. Going on the voice, blah, blah, I will say in a second. The second step, when we have collected the information, the second step is sorting. Okay? And I apologize if I say things that are like, okay, this is what is about the speaking. I mean, this is not really telling me about the speaking, Riccardo, but that's important, because if you go by step and you approach your evaluation to someone else in this way, then you will be able to self-evaluate yourself. Okay, after sorting, there is the analyzing, okay, and finally we have the okay, these are the steps. They are all very important. Okay, now I say content, structure, and delivery. This is the speech, and the speech is is a build. All of these three elements are happening at the same time. So you start collecting what Riccardo is saying. Is the content relevant for the occasion? Riccardo is going on a stage talking about his experience about runner, and then he starts talking about engineering. Okay, Riccardo is on live now, right now, and is talking about evaluation, and is talking about collecting, sorting data. What's going on? Is it relevant, the content that Riccardo is saying? Well, maybe yes, maybe not. Let's see. Riccardo say that is relevant. So you say, okay, connect content. For now, content seems relevant. Oh, Riccardo is talking about running, and he start telling the day that he went to buy a cool running shoes. Well, this is a really good content. Okay, it's related. So you start saying good content. You start to say, I love the quote that Riccardo used. So you start listing the elements of the content. Okay, and in the elements of the content, you put the quotes, you put the I don't know, the percentages if I'm using data. So the things that are relevant for the content. And my suggestion is, in the beginning, oh wow, crazy meme. Someone will create a meme for me. When you start practicing your evaluation, I do suggest doing this. Listen a TED Talk, listen a friend on a stage, you are in Toastmaster, you are evaluating, just doing this. Put a plus for something that you like. This content, I like the quote that Riccardo used. I didn't use any quote right now, but yeah, I mean, I like how Riccardo opening this speech. I like what Riccardo says, okay? And then they put, okay, plus, this content is very good. Or minus, Riccardo is talking about data collection. Well, it's a really data collection is important. But the point is that use your coding. I mean, I love using plus and minus when I take my notes quickly, collecting the notes. So I quickly go through the points that where the point that I think that was good, I like it, is a good practice. or the points that I think that, well, maybe this point is a little bit weak, was uncertain, this content was expecting. Hope that makes sense. But I say, this is happening, why the people are speaking, everything is happening at the same time. So at the same time, you need always to look to the structure. So we say content, quickly. The quote was okay, the data, maybe while he's talking, the structure, wow, you Riccardo is structuring things. He start waffling about the day, he start waffling about the sun. You know what, Riccardo started with a storytelling. Someone say, I like the way that Riccardo makes this live very interacting, very like we are sitting, taking a cup of coffee or tea, whatever you are, English or Italian, and enjoying the sun. I like it. The structure starting with the story, I like it. You say a plus, and then you say, okay, I started with a story that was the sun outside, okay? But you can say, you know what? This is really distracting for a live. I don't like it. And then you decide, you know what? This is not good. This is very personal. But the important things right now is that you got the mechanism, the structure, starting with a story, then go through the elements, and then Riccardo uses some signposting, say next time I will go through evaluation, I will tell you these things, I will tell you this, and this. Well, signposting is definitely good, so I like what Riccardo says. And then you write signposting. Bye. Delivery. Will Riccardo use properly his voice? Have you Riccardo using looking into the camera? And I watched my last lives, and I noticed that most of the time I look into the ceiling, I looking down, and I was thinking maybe people say, okay, Riccardo, you say that it's important looking into the camera when you are in a virtual environment, but then when you do your live, you watch everywhere. I mean, sometimes you watch the camera, but most of the time you watch everywhere. I noticed this. And, well, that's true. And I think that this makes more human if I look more around, but probably it's distracting. I have to concentrate and watch much more into the camera. So going back to the delivery, is Riccardo watching in the camera? I hope that today I'm watching much more into the camera, so I deserve a plus today. I hope so. For the moment, I put a plus on myself because I'm trying to deliver and look into the camera. A couple of weeks ago into the live and my microphone was not working properly. I hope that my microphone now is working good. The level are okay. So the tone of the voice probably is deserving another plus. So maybe Riccardo today is doing well with this delivery, the voice, the tone of voice, the gesture and everything else. It's working properly. I deserve a couple of plus. But you know what? Maybe last time, if you watch the recording of the live that I did with my good friend Riccardo, we were talking about sustainability. My microphone was awful, was really low level. I mean, it was a technical problem, but in the end it was affecting the delivery. So that was like a minus or a minus, let's say, very bad. If you can add also 2 plus or 2 minus, but I think that you got the point. How to collect the data quickly. While the speaker is speaking, just take few notes. It probably take a little bit more time if the speaker is like using the quotes because you want to write the full quote. But use the plus. Don't say I like this, I don't like this. Use the plus. And if you don't, I mean, I know other people that like other methods. So if you don't like the plus and the minus, this is a suggestion for me, just to make it easy to collect the data quickly. But if you like other ways, for example, you divide your paper in good things and, I mean, no bad things, but things that I don't like, well, that's okay. Just use your way to collect the data quickly, and practice. Watch a TED Talk, not just for the beautiful of the content, but watch a TED Talk analyzing the speaker. Watch a TED Talk trying to say, maybe 80 minutes is too much, but yeah, there are some TED Talks that are like 5, 8, 10 minutes. Watch the TED Talk and take your notes. And take the notes, content, structure, delivery. And collect all the data. This is a powerful way to practice. I mean, today it's so easy to practice. You don't have to go on a real TED Talk. You don't have to go on a real keynote. Just take these notes and practice. Well, this is so powerful. And then, of course, practice makes us much more expert or good in what we are doing, and make sure that we can disconnect the collection element from the pay attention of what's going on. That's exactly like the driving kind of analogy that I did. Oh, cool, Riccardo used an analogy. So this is going to the structure plus Riccardo use an analogy. Yeah, cool. I go in the plus. Okay, cool. I'm joking. Let's see who is around. Current viewer. YouTube always like no one still know YouTube. I'm live on YouTube, and YouTube you can find all my videos. So I know that LinkedIn is a little bit noisy. You have to go into the as I call it, the event and go through the past event. It's not really digging and finding all the lives and all of the recording that I did, especially the recording connected to the Monday post. It's very hard to find. So I started the recording also in YouTube. So you can find all the live in YouTube. You can scroll up and down. I'm working on this, and I will also add the chapter. I will come. But if you want to review a specific moment or you want to just speak what you are interested, I suggest to go in YouTube. It's very more straightforward. So that's why I'm also using YouTube. And then you can also watch the recording in YouTube. But I'm also loading all my inside video in YouTube. So take a time, go in YouTube, search for Riccardo Ginevri or search for Spontaneous Stories, and you will find my YouTube channel with the videos that are going to be uploaded. These live are straight into the YouTube. They are live, and then at the end of the live they are quickly available. But the Monday video, I'm uploading them one by one during the weeks. So if there is something that you are looking for, just keep an eye. Okay, so say that I recommended the structure. Practice the structure with videos, TED Talk, with I don't know, Trump talking, or also someone a video from a presentation of your office. As much as you test your data collection, as much you become quick to collect the data. The key elements are focus on listening and watching. This is data collecting. This is very important. But then we are to the next step. Okay, let's talk about the next step. Where is the pen? Okay, let's talk to the next step. So the next step, it's a sorting. So when you have collected all these elements following the content, the structure, and the delivery, and most probably in the next live, I will dig into what you need to pay attention about the content, the structure, the delivery, or you can watch my videos or my article. But okay, you have collected all this information. Now we are focusing on how to evaluate the practice, the hands-on. The next step So one is collecting the data. We have done the next step. Number two is sorting. Of course, you needed to sort because it's a mess. You have a content here, you have a structure there. I mean, I always suggest to divide maybe your paper in a section. You put all the content in one section, the structure in another section, and deliver in another section. Whatever you like, find your way. And that's why it's important to practicing, because then you find a way that is the more it's working better for you. It's something that you like. Okay, but then it comes to the sorting. When it comes to the sorting, how I needed to sort. Okay, if you are not, if I was not good enough to sort my stuff in the beginning, my suggestion is to sort by area. Okay, so you have all the content stuff in one place, you have all the structure stuff in one place. But sometimes it's good to have like content connected with the structure. So you can have like, you can sort the things like, okay, content was good because it uses story, and then you say, you create an arrow and then say, content was good, but because it was using storytelling and because it was using an analogy, so you can use the arrow, but data was no good. Okay, and then you put like all the things that you like one side, all the things that well, could be improved, that you didn't like or were not resonating with you in the other side. So in the beginning of my evaluation, and I'm just picking up. Sorry, giving you older. I should not do this. And I was not prepared. I have this notebook is it's like it's all my Toastmaster notes and evaluation since like I think 2019. I have another book for the one before, and you see these are all the paper that I got the evaluation. And this is like all the time that I have evaluated someone. And I mean, now I'm going to write everything very quickly, but then when I'm sorting, I rewrite everything in another page in a more clean way. So find a way that works for you, but sorting is important. You can use a sorting in the beginning. You just divide your paper in 2 columns. Things I like it, the plus, thing I like it less, and then content, structure, delivery. Or you can use a pre-sorting structure that I was using in the beginning when I was evaluating, especially the quick speeches. I have already preparing for every speech from every speaker. So like, sorry, I just noticed that, oh, you cannot see the below part. Oh, that's not working as should be. Well, this is live. Okay, cool. Now it's working. So you were not able to see collecting, sorting, analyzing, and sorry about that. I mean, I really didn't realize that this was happening. Now should be good. Okay. So, So I was talking about the sequence, collecting, sorting, analyzing, synthesizing, and then sorting. So when I was at the beginning of my Toastmaster journey, and I was evaluating speech, I was evaluating especially the table topics because there are speakers that are coming one after the other. I was just like putting the name of the speaker here, and then for each speaker, I was listening. I was putting an empty things, what I liked, what I don't like, and what I liked very much, like 2 circles, something like that. And then I will use to write into the row all the things that I liked. That could be like a content structure in one just row, all the things that I didn't like it, or I think that the speaker could improve in another row, and then I was writing things that really, really punch me, was like the power in another row. At the end of the speech, I was like selecting, sorting. This is something that I like it. This is like something that I don't like it. And this is, so I was like sorting in this way the data. Whatever it is, find your way. Okay. Now, this paper is a little bit messy, so I'm going to have a new one. Then it comes to the moment. So we say that the steps are we have a collected all, and we have a sorted sort, and then we have the analyzing. Okay. And so now we have the analyzing step. So in the analyzing step, why the analyzing step is important? Because you wrote few things, a piece of quote, you say voice, pace, you put elements. No, you don't write everything. You put elements. Ricardo used eye contact was good. I hope that today eye contact is good. The voice was good. So you write voice, eye contact. You don't write everything when you collect the data. I didn't mention this, but it's important to say you don't have to write everything, because instead you lost you lost piece of information. So just write 2 or 3 things that make sense for you. Okay. And then you needed to go to the analyze. And you say, okay, why Ricardo was doing well with eye contact? Why the content was good? Why the waffling in the beginning about the sun was like meh? Yeah, that's the analyzing step. That's the moment that you say you add information. That's why sorting and rewriting is important, because in analyzing you start listing this was good because this, and then this was bad because this. And the analyzing is it's basically looking to, I would like to say, using this approach. I mean, there are several approaches. What was good? I definitely, let's say, suggest to use the analyzing, asking yourself, what was good? Was good the quote? Was good the introduction? Was good the storytelling about the sun? Well, for a live was good or was not good, okay? Ideally, you should say when, at the beginning of this, at the beginning of the live. At the beginning of the live, well, this was good because it was like, well, was not really a hard hook, but was like relaxing, introducing the live, making sure that everything, all the technology was working. So yeah, when at the beginning was good. So what, when, why was good? I have already mentioned was good because at the beginning of the speech. Why was good? For example, using the analogy. Using the analogy was good because the driver analogy was really telling why it's important to practicing, and the touch, the conscious checking on what's going on, and collecting the information and evaluation from the listening and pay attention of what the speaker is saying. Okay, why? And asking these questions, it's very important. So again, in the beginning, take time to ask your question: what was good, when happens, and why was good. But then, especially if you are going to do a suggestion, so something that you didn't like, I do really suggest to do it for also things that you like it. How? How means waffling in the beginning. Let me again jump into the example. Waffling in the beginning about the sun and yeah, it was not really good for the live. People connect to the live, have no time, and find Riccardo first minutes of the live talking about the sun, talking about I don't know, that he didn't get the comments or the input. This is not good. Okay, that's why it was not good. How Riccardo should have done? Say, Riccardo should have started the live quickly with agenda or with a quote, saying a punchy quote that say, I mean, if you don't evaluate this, you will get lost. I don't know. I'm just inventing a quote, but yeah, just get it punching or say. Very good quote that is coming in my mind. Say something like, we have 2 years and 1 month. It means that we have to listen 2 times and speak 1 time. So in speaking, it's much more important listening than speaking. This is one famous thing that when evaluating, most people use it. We have 2 years and 1 month. So it means that speak 1 time and listen 2 times. So listening is very important. Or any quote about judging, whatever it is. Do the example. How is do an example? Show what Riccardo should have done in the beginning of the live to hook the audience, to make the audience feeling that it was important. And the time that the audience is using is worth. Tell how Riccardo should talk and look into the camera and not look into the microphone or the ceiling. Always have a Riccardo looking into the camera all the time, but no staring in this way. I mean, so you analyze the what, the when, why, and write how Riccardo can do better. But also, I mentioned, if Riccardo did a good analogy, like the driver that driving the car, say, this is a good analogy. Doing an analogy is always bringing the listener to something that is, to a territory that is uncharted. It's a territory that they don't know, like they are new to the evaluation, to something that they know, because maybe people know how to drive, and then you do the analogy. I mean, this is the analogy, but I think that you got the point. Final point after the analyzing is this. There is the sorry, I'm just on the border of paper. Let's see if you can see it. Yes, you can see it. Okay, cool. Especially at the beginning, you will write a lot of things, a lot of information, and probably you will find a lot of things that you like it, a lot of things that you didn't like it, and well, you don't have to use everything. The synthesis is very important. And the synthesis will connect, for example, will connect the content, the structure, and the delivery. I would like to recommend you to not mix them up. Always use a very clear structure when you bring your evaluation to live. When I say to live, I'm not mentioning that you are telling to someone your evaluation. You will get to the point, okay, to tell someone your evaluation. If you are in Toastmaster, or if you are a manager, a leader, or if some friends ask you, okay, how went my speech? Or you want to do the self-evaluation. That is the final point of today for the last 5 minutes. Synthesis is very important. Bring things together and choose 2 or 3 few elements that were very, you think, in your opinion, were things that you want to focus on. So you have a lot of things, you analyze it, a lot of things, but then you want to pick the things that are, synthesize the things that are more relevant. And there are several formula. In Toastmaster, when I joined Toastmaster, there were one main formula that was called the sandwich formula. There are other formulas to provide to put things together and provide the feedback. I noticed that lately many people don't like the formula that is called commendation. Okay, so one good thing, recommendation, so something that can be improved with my plus and minus, and then is a commendation and something good. They call it this formula in a very bad way, a sandwich with something very bad in the middle. I love the formula because it's a very good structure. So this is very easy. The point is, when you do the recommendation and when you provide the feedback in evaluation, always they are always a constructive suggestion. I say in the beginning, is not a judgment. It's not a judgment of the speaker as a person. It's not a judgment of the content. It's the way that the content, it was the content relevant, and so on and so on. So it's not a judgment. So the recommendation is a constructive. Again, it's something I always recommend to say, I like it, I didn't like. If you use I like it, I didn't like, it's underline the objective things of the approach. My suggestion for the synthesis in a bigger approach is to use, if I use a C for commendation, R for recommendation, and C for commendation, CRC, my bigger approach for the synthesis and evaluation is to use this approach. Use to commendation, then to recommendation, and then one very good commendation. The things, leave at the end the things that you like it very much. This is a great formula: commendation, commendation, recommendation, recommendation, commendation, for very structuring and synthesizing evaluation information. You can use also another formula like CR plus C. So you have a commendation and then you attach the recommendation. Sometimes happen that Riccardo did very well in the beginning, opening and greeting everyone to the live. However, I would like to recommend Riccardo to waffle less about the sun and everything else, because in the live no one cares. Or Riccardo did very good with the analogies and with the content, especially the analogy of the driver, that is always very good, blah, 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 blah. And then you say, however, Riccardo is always using the same analogy. Maybe Riccardo can improve and use different analogies, whatever it is. This is commendation, recommendation. And then at the end, what I like very much about this speech, Riccardo, that give us a very good approach and structure to evaluation. And then self-evaluation. There are 2-3 minutes at the end of today. And I would like to jump into the self-evaluation. It's exactly the same. The point is, self-evaluation is recording yourself and rewatching yourself. Now, practice before evaluating someone else. I'm evaluating a TED Talk, very good speaker. Not all the TED Talk are great. I have to say, not all the TED Talk are, you can expect that not all the TED Talk are great, especially the TEDx. Sometimes some of them are. So it's a good playground to practice this evaluation approach. Then record yourself, prepare a speech, practice 2 or 3 times, and then deliver your speech in front of the camera with the paper, with the notes, without notes, and then evaluate yourself. No judging, no judge yourself, no judge that you are not watching into the camera, no judge your voice. Collect the information using the structure, content, evaluation, the structure and the delivery. This is an amazing way to improve you as a speaker, because before you become able to collect your information in a way that is like no judgmental, in a way that you focus on your listening. You have a structure, and then the same structure that you have used for other speech, for other speaker, keynotes, maybe people that are very good in speaking, then you use the structure for yourself. And when you go to the synthesis, you will find the elements that you think that you needed to work on. Everyone have always a room for improvement. No one, also the best speaker, they can always improve, because every speech is different, every audience is different. There is always something that you can improve. Of course, when you are a very good speaker, the curve, the improvement, the bar is very high, the improvements are very small. But sometimes small improvements are hard to get. Imagine Olympians that practice for 4 years to few seconds during the Olympic Games. So practice evaluation is important. Practice know with you, and then move to the self-evaluation using the structure. Using the structure will free you from will free you from the processing power, so you can listen and you can pay attention on what you are saying and what is the tone of your voice. And again, don't be judgmental, don't judge, but just be very open, collect all information. I do really hope that today live helped and give you an approach to grow as a speaker. To grow as a speaker, practice is important. Structure, all elements are important, but also is very important that you know which element you want to focus. And again, not all elements, but which elements you want to focus to improve, and which elements. Let me finish with the plus final recommendation. Which elements are good also for yourself. In the end, say, oh, you know what, in summary, at the end, Riccardo did very well, because this time finally spent like 90% of his time watching to the camera, not watching on the right, on the left, on the ceiling, on down, to make it more live. No, it's not. It's live. You are behind the camera. I'm recording. I have to watch into the camera. So what I did today, very well. I hope that I delivered this live, watching most of the time in the camera. And what I like very much also that Riccardo recognized that it was waffling a little bit in the beginning around the sun. But sun is there, and I would like to have a great lunch today at the sun. I hope that you enjoy today live. Please, if you have any topic that you want to dig into, a specific topic, you have any question, drop into the chat. Send a direct message to me or drop into the chat when I'm going to announce the next live that is going to happen next Thursday. Of course, say that I do really wish that you are going to have a great sunny day, a great sunny weekend, and thank you very much for watching. Happy storytelling. Ciao, ciao.